Now you were very appreciative of Bangalore infra, how startups are flourishing here, even investors are very open here, and specific to fintech, there are many innovations that's happening here. According to you, what can be the top 3 reasons of this infra, that why this infra is thriving?
See, anything which needs to be thrive upon from an economic journey perspective, you require a fantastic policy. B is you require an ecosystem. And third is you require a talent. And fortunately, Karnataka has been blessed with all these 3 things. The first startup policy in the country came out from Karnataka. So we are like, version 3. And other states are looking at version 1. So that's where we are ahead of the curve in terms of how do we create a policy environment which supports from idea to developing a POC, from POC to a product to the market to funding, all the stuff we have laid down in our policy document. Second, the ecosystem. The ecosystem here is entrepreneurship ecosystem in the state of Karnataka has been, I would say, almost 100 years old, right? In fact, the biggest enterprises which started looking at privately, not government alone, was actually in the state of Karnataka, leading to exercise of energy, hydro, power, traffic, and other stuff. All those innovations started coming up from this place. R&D started coming up place in here. For example, Fortune 500 companies of the world, out of which 400 R&D centers operate from here in Karnataka. So you have an ecosystem which is prevailing. And then fortunately, this is added with the VC ecosystem where almost 99% of the VCs of India operate from Bangalore, right? So ecosystem. The third is the talent. So talent becomes very important because you require now a faster talent, sharper talent, mature talent, and scale-up talent. And all these things are available because best of the talent of the country have been coming to Karnataka for higher education studies for the last 40, 50 years. So you have an attraction power over and above everywhere else, and you find the best talent available here.
Now, Mr. Gupta, I've read a couple of recent reports. There are numbers that say there is a drop in funding in fintech specifically across India. It's not Bangalore specific, but we see a lot many more investments in the growth stage level. Yeah, you spoke about infrastructure and the ecosystem where startups are flourishing well. Now, tell me, there is a number that reports kind of projects that fintech is about to reach 1.8 trillion by 2030. Now, this is a huge, very optimistic number. Globally, very optimistic number. According to you, what is needed to reach there? From India, or let's say from a Bangalore specific point of view, tell me what's needed to reach there on pace.
I think, first of all, your question started from, talking about investments, like funding and etc.
Yeah.
Just give you the statistics. To my precise knowledge and whatever I have captured the data, first quarter of this financial year, right, around 633 million funding has been done for the startup ecosystem. There's a dip here.
Yeah.
But the fintech has received 200 million USD's investments. Out of 1/3 actually is actually given to the fintech alone, and another one segment is enterprise. So I see a very upside of the investments attraction towards the fintech more, right? Now, why Bangalore and what Bangalore can contribute? As I said, Bangalore has the n number of unicorns in fintech, right? So you have an ecosystem which is very, very strong in fintech. Now, what can be achieved onto this part is a couple of ways, right? One is insurance tag, the reg tag, the coverage of that, the credit tag is so much of requirement right now in the world and in India alone, that if we move on this direction, today we are like 7% of the financial services only. Fintech is serving only 7% of financial services. So that means there is 90% plus financial services needs to be come through on fintech board. If it comes, can you imagine what the number they're talking about? So what we need to do is expand these tech into the part. And regulatory has to work very closely and open-mindedness with us. So I think that's where another element lies.
Just before we close with my final question, one question precisely on where do you see a scope of work? Whether it can be related to ecosystem, it can be related to policies, it can be related to investors, maybe founders, maybe collaborations. Where do you see a scope of work?
Scope of work is in everywhere actually, because you use the word an ecosystem here. An ecosystem, government also plays a role, which is the policy. Government also plays a role in enabler, infrastructure, talent, coming up with the VCs network, market spaces and global market as well. So can we make our Bangalore-based startups to access global market? Yes, we have. And that's how we can go. For example, let's say Razorpay is expanding in various countries now. Likewise, other startups would like to use a similar format and go to the markets. How can we, as an enabler, from a VC angle or from a government angle, create those highways where they can start driving the fintech cars or the vehicles to the other markets of the world?
Very interesting, I must say. Just the final question of it. Now, we understand that this is huge. The ecosystem is supportive, encouraging more startups. How many unicorns are we going to see in next 5 years?
Now, I'm predicting we'll have around, from fintech alone, we'll have some 50 unicorns coming up from Karnataka.
In what time?
I expect by 2031-32.
Not bad, not bad. I must appreciate your optimism.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
And I'm with you. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta,
Lovely
for joining us.
lovely chatting with you.
Lovely,
Thank you.
lovely, lovely.